What is going on, everyone? Scott back from Croc. Guys, this is a sad day. We're seeing a large sea of red. We're seeing 10% drops across the board in most cryptos, all top 100 cryptos, and it's just nuts. Days like this we don't like, but we need to ultimately assess what's going on and so we can kind of figure out how to prevent against this in the future. Do we move our money to Tether? Do we sell? What do we need to do? Um, Bitcoin is currently trading at $6,800, down almost 10% on the day. We're seeing a market cap of $303 billion, dollars, which this has dropped off almost $50 billion dollars in the past week. So, significant drop. And all of our gains since I want to say April, um, around April 11th, is when we were back at 6,800. So we've lost all our momentum and all our gains since then. And unfortunately, this is the Bitcoin market. You can lose 10% in a day, you can gain 10% in a day. So, but, ultimately we are long term holders and we're not going to let this stop us. So, as the market says, um, 10% across the board, and there's actually speculation here as to why. So there's actually a probe going on right now, and it's in regards to potential price manipulation. And they don't actually talk about if the price manipulation is up or down, but as a result, the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, or CFTC, has launched a probe into the four major crypto exchanges, and that has sent everything into basically turmoil, um, and everyone's basically just selling everything off. Now, you don't necessarily know if this is people selling off or if this is bots selling off, because there's still $300 billion in the market. So there is people that are still long-term holders. Um, and ultimately, in my opinion, this is just bots that kind of are programmed to read the news. And when these sort of things come out, they react accordingly. So there's also news here about crypto dumps as Korean exchange Coinrail gets hacked. So this Korean exchange um, is the 90th exchange in the world based on trading volume. So it's not a massive exchange by any means. It still trades $2 million worth of cryptocurrency. So they're making a decent commission. But this is just goes to show you that it doesn't matter what exchange it is. It can be a small exchange, it can be a large exchange. Your coins are at risk if you do not hold the keys. So yes, there's benefits to for holding coins on exchanges. Maybe the exchange is part of a airdrop, and you don't want to kind of go through all the hassle of registering your addresses and stuff like that. So you might just hold your coins on the exchanges. However, you set yourself up for basically potential hacks, and you're basically set yourself up for risk. So always have backups if you're going to be having your own wallet, or maybe get like a hardware wallet. It's always safe to do that. So the thing that I want to talk to you guys about is also the fact that despite adoption, people are talking about this is Bitcoin's 300th funeral, right? So again, you're going to see in the news 10% drop in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is dead. But this has been said time and time again, and ultimately we get up every morning and Bitcoin's still here, and it's going to be here for the next, whatever 20 plus years to come. So there's lots of positivity in the market. Unfortunately, days like this, the media jumps onto it and they really put a lot of FUD into the market. Um, and yeah, they just kind of screw with the price. Now, the other one here I want to talk to you guys about is Tom Lee on why BTC is the next step for banks. So basically, Thomas Lee of Fundstrat spoke about the long-term picture for Bitcoin. He began speaking about exchanges and why banks should look into becoming exchanges. So basically, he's talking about how like Goldman Sachs made $8 billion in profit, or it made $8 billion in revenue potentially, over the past 12 months. But exchanges like Coinbase and Binance are actually making, are recording like $1 billion profits as well. So these large banks are potentially missing out on opportunities here. However, we are seeing more and more banks opening up to cryptocurrencies. They're allowing their investors to buy in. Unfortunately, these are for like high net worth investors. So maybe you have to have like, $1 million or over $100,000 invested. And then these banks will basically say, hey, we'll allow you to trade crypto. Maybe we'll even open up an ETF for you. And that ETF will be comprised of the top 10 coins based on, volume. And we will take a cut based on, managing those coins for you. And we're actually seeing a lot more of that. So it's good to see that there is some exchanges that are kind of on board. There's some banks that are kind of, on board with that. But it's almost like in the public eye, banks are like, no, 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 Bitcoin's bad. But behind the scenes, you've got all these big companies like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, and they're opening up crypto trading desks. So it's like they say one thing and they do the other. So really, you shouldn't be listening to what they have to say. You should be looking at their actions. So again, Bitcoin is heading for a potential big breakout. This article was posted yesterday. So this just goes to show you that it doesn't matter what you read. Anything can happen, right? So someone can write an article saying Bitcoin's heading for a potential breakout. That breakout could potentially happen, and that person is the smartest person in the world, and they just predicted the market. Now on the flip side is that person could say it's headed for a big breakout, and then today happens, and it's a huge sell-off, and this person looks like a fool. So you can't always believe what you have to say, and you also ultimately can't always believe what you read on articles. You have to do the homework yourself. If it's your own money, you have to be willing to stand by it, and you have to be willing to take the loss if you do suffer these losses like today. And I made a video the other day. It was basically on the wedge. There was a Bitcoin wedge that someone was talking about, and it was in. It was in this video. And basically, they're talking about how, based on technical analysis, this wedge went up above this decline line here, and that symbolized a potential breakout. However, that breakout was going to be one of two ways. It was either going to go up to from $7,000 to around $8,800, or it was going to go from around the $7,000 mark down to $6,000. So unfortunately, this news about the four exchanges basically getting, audited, or basically being audited, has messed up this trend. So we can't actually consider that to be legitimate anymore. And the last article I want to talk to you guys about is Canada releases new official drafts of crypto regulations focused on KYC and AML. And basically, that is for the anti-money laundering, anti-terrorist financing. And this is the shocker here, guys. So they're actually putting a means in place where businesses that are going to be selling to Canadians need to record when someone details a transaction over $10,000. Now, this is similar to like a bank. If you go into a bank and you deposit over $10,000, or if you withdraw over $10,000, a little red flag goes on behind the scenes, and you basically get put onto a list, right? Because they need to figure out, why is this person, moving around this large amount of money? And now this is going to be put onto exchanges. Exchanges are going to be required to do this. So for example, Quadriga in Canada is going to have to basically keep a record of all this sort of stuff, so that when the government comes a calling saying, we need to audit your books, we need to see what people have purchased, they're going to basically have to hand it over. So yes, certain cryptocurrencies are, secure in that, no one knows who owns those coins, but the government can ultimately track where your money is moving. So if it moves from your bank and you buy some cryptocurrencies on Quadriga, Quadriga knows that you've purchased them. They know your name, because you've signed up for their exchange. They have your photo ID and all that kind of stuff. So technically, they can kind of follow the paper trail and figure out where your money is moved, and ultimately, no one's safe. So it just goes to show you that governments are really hampering down on all this kind of stuff. And it comes down to the fact that they just want their tax money. Let's just be honest. So guys, this day, yes, it has come. We're seeing like 15% drops on EOS, which just had its airdrop, or not airdrop, it just had its mainnet launch. Over 66% of their developers agreed to it. And so it doesn't matter, the mainnet launched, but it's down 15.5% today. And yeah, so pretty crappy day. Keep your head up. These sort of things happen. We're only looking for positive upside in the next couple days to come. When these sort of big drops happen, typically there is potential for large gains in the next couple days. So this might actually be an opportunity to buy in. If you have your favorite project that you were ultimately looking for, now is an opportunity to get into it, because you might be able to get some quick gains when it's down like this, right? Buy low, sell high. So with that being said, guys, thanks for watching the video. We're going to be coming out with crypto videos every single day, telling you which ones to buy and which ones to stay away from. Talk to you guys on the next video.